Hi, Nursing 452, Section 1 students. This is Dr. Piantek here, just going through with you over Module 2. Most of you have probably already accessed Module 2. We are a couple of days into the module, but I just wanted to give you a brief rundown of the module. I pretty much spoke with mostly everyone, either by phone call or through email, about your ideas with your preceptor or with your experiential learning and the site of where you're going to either be doing your practicum or where you're going to be doing your presentation. So I feel really confident that everyone's in a really good direction for this course. So if I haven't spoken with you and you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can either call me or email me, and if you want to talk face-to-face, we can certainly do that too, either arrange a meeting on campus or over through Zoom. So going into Module 2, this is your planning stage for your project. Most projects are going to have like that education element. So you're not going to be, solving the world's problems in the next few weeks. What you're basically going to be doing is educating your specific population or a group of people who are affiliated with the population. So if you go into Module 2, we have the overview. So you'll do the practicum planning assessment and you'll access that here. So it basically is just, we call it a quiz, even though it's not a quiz. It's just your way to deliver to me what your plan is in terms of the health-related issue that you'll be addressing and the population that you'll be addressing too. So you can read about the purpose and the focus of this, and then you'll access this quiz, if you will, by clicking on this link here. So the response post for discussion board 1 is going to be due at the end of this week. So if you remember way back when in the first video, we do discussion boards kind of like every other week. So for the first, for the first module, you did the initial post. For this module, you'll do your response post to your peers. And then in Module 3, you'll do an initial post. And then in Module 4, you'll do your response post to your peers. So it's not like you have to, really be on top of that discussion board each and every week. I'm kind of spreading it out a little bit. And then here, what I would like for you to do, if you haven't done so already, is to submit your final Nursing 451 paper that you did last semester. And so this way I kind of get an idea about the direction of where you want to go with your project. I'll provide feedback as to whether the project is feasible or if it's something that maybe we need to scale it back a little bit. Again, really emphasizing more or less that education component at this point, because your presentation is kind of your project. I hate to sound like that, but it really is, because what you're doing is you're gathering data, you're creating some kind of an educational component that you can deliver then to your population or to the population that is impacted with the health-related issue. And then, your evaluation or your outcomes assessment will be basically how much they gained, what knowledge and awareness they've gained by you presenting to them. Okay, so if you go ahead and just submit your paper here, I can review it. And then there's a few other little bonuses here about population health management and community collaboration. You probably remember seeing this in 451. And then we have the examples here on how to write SMART objectives. So this will come into play because when you do your practicum planning assessment, we're asking you to develop 3 SMART objectives that you hope to gain from this practicum experience. So then, let's see, the 40 hours of service, learning, or collaboration, if you're choosing option B. Again, these, from some of you, I've spoken to you about this, but those of you I haven't spoken with, basically, you're going to choose activities that really align with one of the 9 essentials, the BSN essentials. So, you know, these can be like CEUs, they can be webinars, they can be community outreach activities like a flu clinic or, you know, a health fair. So any activity that you can link back to a BSN Essential, you're good to go. So just log that in on your practicum log. And if possible, if it's a CEU, obviously you're going to want to, when you turn in that practicum log, turn in that certificate. If it's a webinar, you usually get a webinar certificate or proof that you've attended the webinar. If it's a health fair or a flu clinic, just go ahead and whoever is the manager of that health fair or flu clinic, just go ahead and get their signature on that. And if you run into any issues, just send me an email. So if you're going to be doing option A, then, you know, at this point in time, you're probably already scheduled with your preceptor as far as when you're going to be doing your 40 hours. Again, make sure that we do have that contract with the facility. If we do not, I've sent you an email, so please check your emails accordingly. Some contracts have expired and we need to renew those. And then another aspect of from here on out are our journal reflections. So every time you do an activity, part of your 40 hours of experiential learning, go ahead and create a journal entry. And you will find that maybe not in this module, but definitely in module 3 on out. You can also access it here. So if you go into journal entries, you can access, I'll show it to you. This is the Kolb model that we use. So what you can do is if you click on, here it is. If you click on this link, it's a Word document. So you can simply just click on this link and then fill in the prompts. All right, so what did you do, where, when, and for how long? And just you can type your answer then. So go ahead and maybe use like a different color ink or a different font. So that way it's easier for me to decipher between the question and your response. And then, like I said, if you're doing the traditional A program, you'll have your preceptor evaluation form you'll need to complete at the end of the semester, and your evaluation of your preceptor and the agency, and then of course your practicum log. And then if you're doing option B, the experiential learning, this is the activity form. This is like that practicum log I was telling you about. So you will match up your activity with one of these 9 essentials. And I've also included a practicum log here if it makes it easier for you to keep track of your hours. So either form is fine. Whatever works for you is good. All right, so I hope that clarifies things a little bit for Module 2. And again, if you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to contact me. And once you start getting your presentation squared away, whether you are doing option A or option B, shoot me an email with a day and a time. Oftentimes, if students are nearby, I will try to attend those, because if I can't attend, and I know some of you are a distance away and I will not be attending, you will need to have your presentation recorded. So you can use your smartphone to record your presentation. Just make sure you have plenty of memory. Or you can use another recording device of your choosing. And then once that is recorded, you're going to upload that video into YouTube. And it's very important that you use YouTube. Don't use any other cloud format. It must be YouTube. And then once that has been uploaded to YouTube, YouTube will give you a link. And then you will post that link into the prospective assignment tabs later on in this course. I think it's around Module 6. Could be Module 7, but I know it's a little bit later on when that is due. Same thing with your Share It presentations, which is due Module 8. It's a 5-minute presentation that you give to your colleagues. So it's literally like what I'm doing to you. I'm sitting in front of a camera, and I'm just, for what you will be doing 5 minutes, telling your colleagues about the project that you've done, the population that you served, any aha moments or any barriers that you've come across. And then, of course, the outcomes of your educational program that you put together. So Anyway, we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but I just wanted to let you know and emphasize that when you do videos, they must be uploaded to YouTube. And we do have some really great tutorials on doing that. So they're in the BSM program information, and then I'll give you some directions a little bit later on how to do that as well. So I think my time is running out, and you're probably tired of hearing me rattle on. So if you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact me. Thanks.